Karizmatik.
Today's topic is the 7 principles of dark psychology and Machiavellian influence. Hello, everyone.
Warm greetings to you all.
We're really happy to be back with another episode.
At Karizmatik, we truly work around the clock to create content that's useful for you.
More than 50 people contribute with care and precision across our network of channels so you can have the best possible experience.
If you're enjoying this, please share the video with others.
That small action helps the show reach more people and gives us the energy to keep going better and stronger.
Shall we begin?
Let's crush it. Okay, so I want to start with a scenario. I think this is going to make a lot of people cringe because it feels just painfully relatable.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You're at work, you see that one person, and we all know this person, who just keeps their head down. They do the extra hours, they're honest.
Always has the right answer.
Always has the right answer, and yet they're completely invisible. No promotion, no recognition, nothing.
It's what you could call the virtue trap.
Right. And then you look across the room and there's someone else. Maybe they're incompetent, maybe they're a little shameless. But they're the ones climbing the ladder. They're building these empires while the honest person is just sort of stuck. It makes you want to scream, that's not fair.
It is a universal frustration, and that feeling right there, that urge to scream, it's not fair, that is exactly what the source material we're looking at today just attacks head on.
Yeah.
We're doing a deep dive into what is basically a masterclass in, well, dark psychology.
Yeah.
And its core argument is going to be uncomfortable for some people.
Uncomfortable is putting it lightly.
The source argues that the world isn't fair. It never was. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop being a victim.
Okay.
It claims that society programs us to play by these polite rules. Be nice, wait your turn, believe in justice.
All the things we're taught as kids.
Exactly. While the winners, the people actually running the show, are playing a completely different game, a game based on psychological dominance.
So, our mission for this deep dive is to figure out the rules of that other game. We're looking at 7 principles heavily inspired by Niccolò Machiavelli, designed to take someone from being ignored to being, well, the source uses the word dangerous.
It does. But I think it means dangerous in the sense of being influential, of being someone who has to be taken seriously.
I think so, too.
And I should probably jump in with a disclaimer here before we get into the weeds.
Please do.
We are analyzing the mechanics of power as this source presents them. We're not necessarily endorsing these tactics as like a moral code.
Right. We're not telling you to go out and be a villain.
No. But we are looking at how power dynamics actually operate in the real world. And that means stripping away some of the idealism we're taught.
It's like learning karate for self-defense. You don't want to fight, but you better know how a punch is thrown.
That's a perfect analogy.
So let's get into it. The source opens with something it calls the trap of justice.
And this is the foundation for everything else. Principle 1. Justice is a psychological trap.
Wow.
The source basically says that waiting for fairness is a lie. A lie sold to people to keep them weak and obedient.
A lie. That's incredibly cynical.
It is cynical, but think about the mechanism. If you believe in a just world and something bad happens, like someone steals credit for your work, what do?
You wait. You think the truth will come out eventually. You wait for the boss to notice.
Exactly. You wait for karma. But the source says while you are waiting for the universe to fix things, the other person is grabbing what they want.
They're taking the promotion.
They're taking the promotion. They're controlling the story. By the time you realize justice isn't coming, you've already lost.
So the advice is stop looking for a referee to blow the whistle.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You are your own referee. And this leads to a very specific, and I'll say it, very controversial Machiavellian insight about conflict.
I remember this part. The distinction between small wounds and large wounds. It sounds incredibly aggressive.
It sounds like warfare, I know. But psychologically, it makes a certain kind of sense. The argument is, if you inflict a small wound on someone, a petty insult, a passive-aggressive comment,
you've just annoyed them.
You've annoyed them, but you've left them strong enough to seek revenge. Resentment is a powerful fuel. So the dark psychology principle is, if you must strike, you must dominate completely.
Whoa. Okay, dominate completely. Are we talking about destroying people's lives here? Because that sounds like we're escalating a workplace dispute into, Game of Thrones.
No, it's not about that. It's about psychological finality. The goal isn't to hurt them. The goal is to create a situation where your opponent just accepts their lower status because the cost of fighting you is simply too high.
Can you give me a real-world example of that? Because crushing your enemy feels a bit much for the accounting department.
Okay, think about a meeting. Someone constantly interrupts you. A small wound would be you rolling your eyes or snapping. Can you let me finish?
Right. That's weak. They'll just do it again.
They'll do it harder next time to prove a point. The total move is to stop the entire meeting. You just go dead silent. You hold eye contact for 3 really uncomfortable seconds until the room gets awkward. And you say, calmly, I wasn't finished. Please wait.
Ooh, that silence would be deafening.
That's the point.
Because
You don't get angry. You assert total control. You aren't arguing with them. You are correcting a child. You're not negotiating respect. You're enforcing it.
But that takes a lot of self-control. Which I guess brings us right to the second principle, doesn't it? Because my first instinct would be to just get mad and yell.
That would be a huge mistake. Principle 2 is ruthlessness is emotional discipline.
See, when I hear ruthless, I picture someone screaming, throwing a chair, just flying into a rage.
That's the Hollywood version. But in the real world of power, rage is weakness. The source is very clear. Cold, icy emotional discipline is what's actually intimidating.
Why is rage weak? Isn't it scary?
Think about it. When you lose your temper, you're being reactive. You're predictable.
Oh.
If I know what makes you angry, I own you.
I can push your buttons.
I can push a button and make you look like a fool in front of anyone. You become a puppet.
That's a terrifying thought.
It is. Strategic people view their emotions, anger, frustration, as data. They feel it, sure, but they treat it as information, not as a command to act.
So going back to that meeting example, someone insults me, my instinct is to insult them back.
That's the hot response. The dark psychology approach is to pause. Assess the situation. You ask yourself, which response damages their status the most right now?
And it's usually not shouting.
It's almost never shouting. It might be a slight smirk or a question like, are you okay? You seem a little stressed.
Oh, that is so patronizing. I love it.
It's surgical. It shifts the dynamic from we're fighting to I am analyzing you.
Yeah.
That is emotional discipline.
Okay, so we've got the internal mindset down. Stop waiting for justice, control your emotions. Now we need to talk about how we actually relate to people, because the source has a really harsh take on being nice.
It really does. Principle 3. Psychological dominance is greater than being liked.
This is the one that's going to hurt the people pleasers out there. I kind of include myself in that. I want people to like me. What's so wrong with that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with being kind. But the source argues there's a lot wrong with being nice out of fear. Nice people are safe.
And because they're safe, they're predictable.
And because they're predictable.
They get walked all over.
Exactly. Everyone knows the nice person will forgive them. They won't make a scene. So who gets the extra weekend work?
The nice person.
Who gets the lower bonus? The nice person. Every single time.
The source talks about shifting from wanting to be nice to wanting to be respected. But can't you be both?
Ideally, yes. But if you have to choose one, respect is the currency of power. And being psychologically dominant means being a little bit dangerous.
Dangerous how?
Not physically dangerous. Dangerous in the sense of boundaries. People tread carefully around those they respect because they know there are consequences for crossing a line. They don't tread carefully around a golden retriever. They love the dog, but they don't respect its authority.
That makes so much sense. There was a specific question the source posed that really stuck with me. It asks, who gets more respect in your circle? The kindest person or the one whose approval actually matters?
And that's the key. We all know that person whose approval we seek because they don't give it away for free. The advice here is to stop prioritizing everyone feeling comfortable and start prioritizing your own social power.
But how do you actually build that power? I can't just walk into the office tomorrow and declare myself the boss.
You build it through behavior. And that brings us to principle 4. Action builds psychological power.
The source puts it so simply. Weak people threaten, complain, and beg. Strong people act.
Think about the car alarm analogy. If a car alarm goes off every single night at 3 a.m., what do you do after a week?
I put a pillow over my head and ignore it. It's just noise.
Exactly. Constant warnings. I'm going to report you. Stop doing that or else. They train people to ignore you. You become the car alarm.
So the dark approach is?
What?
Not warning them.
The dark approach is silence, followed by consequence. You give fewer warnings, maybe even 0 warnings, but you take decisive, unforgettable action when a boundary is crossed.
Okay, give me a scenario. Let's say I have a friend who is always disrespectfully late.
The weak response is to complain every time. Why are you always late? It's so rude, but you still wait for them.
Guilty.
The action response is you wait 15 minutes, then you leave. You go to the movie without them. You order dinner without them. No angry paragraph text. You just let the action speak for itself.
And when they show up and I'm gone?
They learn instantly. The source calls it the one blow concept. You change the reality of the situation through action, not through nagging. Thanks for staying with us up to this point. If it's been helpful, send it right now to one person. Your single share really motivates our team.
Okay, we're back. We've talked about the internal game and the behavioral game. Now we're getting into the really subtle stuff. The Jedi mind tricks, if you will. Part 3 is all about perception and narrative.
This is where we have to acknowledge that humans are, well, cognitive misers. We're lazy thinkers.
Lazy thinkers. Hey, speak for yourself.
No, we all are. The source argues that people do not have time to discover your true self. They don't have the energy to find your heart of gold or your hidden genius. They are just scanning for cues.
Which is principle 5. Perception management is reality control.
Think of it like a movie trailer. If the trailer for a movie looks low budget, boring, and badly edited, do you buy a ticket?
No, even if the movie itself is a masterpiece, I'm not watching it.
Exactly. You are the movie. Your posture, your tone, your eye contact, that's your trailer. And if your trailer says insecure and unimportant, nobody is going to invest in the movie of you.
The source used the example of just entering a room. Slouching versus standing upright. It sounds so basic, like something my mom would tell me.
It is basic, but the psychological impact is massive. It changes how people categorize you in the first 3 seconds. Important versus unimportant. Threat versus prey.
But isn't that fake? Isn't that just fake it till you make it?
The source would argue that it's not being fake, it's narrating yourself. You have to project the story of who you are before other people create a fake narrative for you.
I see.
If you don't define yourself, someone else will. And they will usually define you as useful to them.
Which ties directly into Principle 6, control the narrative. Or as the source puts it, psychological warfare.
This is such a powerful concept. The story of an event matters more than the event itself.
Okay, can you break that down? Because that sounds a lot like gaslighting. The truth doesn't matter, only the story matters.
It's bordering on it, but let's call it framing to be more accurate. Let's say you make a tough call at work and fire a popular but incompetent employee. There are now 2 stories. Story A is, you're heartless and you don't care about people.
Right, that's the story the office gossip mill will tell.
Unless you tell story B first. And story B is, I had to make a heartbreaking choice to protect the rest of the team from being dragged down.
So it's about who gets their explanation out there first and most convincingly.
Exactly. Everything has multiple angles. Is cutting off a toxic friend selfish, or is it setting a healthy boundary? If someone attacks you, the best strategy isn't just to say, I didn't do it. It's to reframe their attack.
How do you reframe an attack?
If someone yells at you in a meeting, you don't yell back. You reframe their anger as a sign of their instability. You say something like, I can see you're really emotional right now. Let's talk about this when you're feeling calmer.
Oh, wow. You just turn their attack into a spotlight on their own lack of control.
You flip the script. You have to be the editor-in-chief of your own life story. Because if you don't edit the footage, someone else will.
That brings us to the final principle, and honestly, this one feels the most cinematic. Principle 7, silent dominance.
You called it the darkest principle, and I agree. The most effective power is built in silence.
There's that old rap lyric, real G's move in silence like lasagna.
It's a ridiculous line, but it's surprisingly accurate to Machiavellian theory. The tactic is simple. Don't announce your plans. Don't brag about your strategy.
But we live in the age of Instagram. Everyone broadcasts everything. Just started a new business. Hustling hard.
And the source says, this is a massive tactical error. When you announce your plans, you give people time to block you. You give envy a chance to fester and grow.
That's so true. If I tell you I'm going for a promotion and you want it too, you now know you need to sabotage me.
Exactly. The source argues that your allies shouldn't even know they're being placed or utilized until the benefit is delivered. And your enemies, they shouldn't know you're toppling them until they've already fallen.
That is genuinely chilling.
It's strategic caution. Let your results speak for themselves. When power is built quietly, when you just suddenly emerge with the win, it feels natural. It feels inevitable to other people, almost like magic.
But if you talk about it too much,
It feels calculated, and people resist it.
So we've gone through 7 pretty intense principles. Stop waiting for justice, use cold discipline, be respected, not just liked, Act, don't just warn. Manage your perception. Control the narrative.
Yeah.
And do it all in silence.
It's a complete overhaul of how most of us are taught to exist in the world.
It really is. So what's the final takeaway? Because I feel like I need a shower, but I also feel strangely empowered.
And that's the goal. The promise from the source is that these principles can take you from being a psychological slave, a victim of other people's games, to being a person of confidence and real influence.
And it leaves us with one final provocative thought. It's basically an ultimatum.
Yes, the ultimatum is this. You can choose to be good and harmless and just hope the world treats you fairly. Or you can understand the mechanics of influence, because the world rewards influence, not just good intentions.
That is a harsh reality check.
It is. But think of it this way. Even if you want to be a saint, you still need to understand how sinners operate.
Exactly. Understanding these tools is a form of self-defense. Whether you use them to build an empire or just to stop that one toxic coworker from ruining your day, knowing the rules of the game is always better than playing blind.
Absolutely. Awareness is the first step to immunity.
Thanks for being with us to the end. If it helped, hit like, leave a sharp comment, and share it with someone who'd enjoy it. Every share helps more people find us. And don't forget to stay subscribed to Karizmatik. The best is yet to come. See you in the next episode.
Stay charismatic.
Karizmatik.